Hopefully, I'm not freezing on this. Curry, what's up, sis? Hope you can make it to Huntsville when you guys are in Memphis. So we good? God boat, my brother. So much better. Good. All right. So, all right. I said I will finish up. So y'all gonna hear from me now, and then I don't know when I get back on. All right, about this. All right. So I talked about one of the first things that you have to do is decide who you are going to be. Decide which part of you you're going to be, because your destiny demands a decision of who you're going to be. God can't send who's going to be a helpmeet if you first, men, have not decided who you're going to be. If you're going to be the joker or if you're going to be the king, because there are certain people that there are certain people that appeal to both sides of you, and we become so subject. I'm preaching that next week, so yeah. But we become so subject to partnering with people that appease different sides of us, and then when we grow out of them, we are mad or angry because we partnered with people that were in a place that we wanted to grow out of. So it's nothing worse than you being a fifth grader right now, and you date a fifth grader, and they're content being a fifth grader, but then you grow and matriculate through school, and next thing you know, you are in the 12th, and they're still in the 5th. And because they are okay with being there. And so the issue that we have is that we date for our now, but we don't date for our future. We date for our now, but we don't date for our future. And so if we ever if we stop learning that our right now will always be at a growing place, if you are growing, if your right now is unbearable, but what happens is your right now has become unbearable for you, and we partner with people out of desperation. We partner with people out of desperation, and you thought you were drowning, so you reached out to everybody that you saw because you thought that they were a life preserver, or you thought that they were a lifeguard. You thought that they were a life preserver, or you thought that they were a lifeguard. So you thought you were drowning, but you didn't understand that God had given you a grace to tread the water. That he's giving you a grace to tread the water, and you didn't operate in your grace. But as soon as you saw somebody that you liked, or saw somebody that you remotely could connect with, you reached out to them, and then you reached out to them, grabbed onto them, and now you're at a place to where you can't get rid of them. The truth is that we've partnered with people. We partnered with people that were there for the moment, but would not be there for the lifetime. And now because because you didn't monitor, or you didn't check your own destiny of where you were going, you are now frustrated. You're now frustrated with where God desires to take you, because now you got to say bye to some people. You got to say bye to some people that, I'm going to talk about something Darius Daniel said. I love him. I wouldn't say single life is better. But I would say that you learn a lot in your single life, and God will begin to expose you throughout your single life. And now watch this. If you're single and you're not learning about you, you're missing the point of you being single. You're missing the purpose of you being single, because a lot of us now, you're not really single. And let me deal with this real quick, because a lot of you are talking about you're single and you're not. A lot of us are talking about we single and you're not. Just because you don't have a title of relationship doesn't mean you single. You're saying you're single because it sounds good, but your heart is in a relationship. And so if God decided to send you somebody right now, you wouldn't even be ready for it. You tied up with so many different people and so many different things that now you talking about you single, but you're not, because you're not open and available to what God desires to send. And why would God send something so pure and so amazing and so good when you're at a place of dirtying up where you are? You're in a dirty living room and you asking God to send you somebody that's clean. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. You talking about you, but you're not. You're not. You're not. We say stuff like that because it sounds good, but you're not. You're not free. You're not single. You're not available. You're so unavailable. Your availability is null and void. You're so unavailable. And so we have to understand that our destiny is connected to something, it's connected to us making a decision on what we're going to do. All right. And so we have to decide who we're going to be. And I talked about that in the first one, but we have to make a decision on who we're going to be. I am a firm believer of that, because there's so many facets to each and every individual that you have to make a decision of who you're going to be. If you're going to be, or what you're going to be, then it's impossible for God to send what's going to help you become if you don't know who you're going to be. There's a statement, not a statement. There's a phrase, that a lot of people say is that, I'm available or I'm single, but you're really not, because you haven't made a decision. All right. And so when you make a decision, you have to learn how to stick to that decision. And what we do is that we make deadlines for destiny decisions. We make deadlines for destiny decisions. And so what we'll do is that we'll say, oh, well, on this day, I give it up. On this day, I'm going to let them go. On this day, I'm going to be done with them, because, I'm just tired of doing this. But on this day, I'm going da 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 da. And we'll say all of these things and we'll create deadlines for destiny decisions. And the deadlines never come, because something is going to arise in the moment that's going to keep you bound. And so what happens is that there's always a distraction to the decision that you're trying to make. So whenever you're trying to make a decision, there will be a distraction to try to keep you from making the decision that needs to be made. So what happens is that you'll think that you're about to leave them, and then something happens in their life, and it'll draw you back in. It'll draw you back in, and so now you're drawn back in. You're drawn back in, and so once you're drawn back in, there's the delay. There's the delay because there was a distraction, and whenever there's a distraction, there becomes a delay, and whenever there's a delay, then now you can't walk into your destiny, because you've delayed your own decision. Whew, Lord, you've delayed your own decision. So we'll be at a place to where you'll be like, well, it's just not a right time. It's just not a right time. It's just not a right time. It's just not a good time. It's just not a good time. Chris Brown had a song said, "It's never a right time to say goodbye." All right, because it never really is. It never really is, because you have to have hard and difficult conversations, but they really don't have to be hard. They really don't have to be hard. We make them hard. And the truth is that normally the person that you're going to have the conversation with already knows that their season is up in your life. So a lot of times people will create the distraction that was going to delay your decision. A lot of times people create the distraction that was going to delay your decision, because they knew that if I create this distraction, then their decision won't be made. And that's right. That's called manipulation. It's called emotional manipulation, because people love to keep you bound. People love to keep you in bondage, and people love to keep you where they can manipulate you. All right. So I'm trying to. All right. So I'm trying to I'm trying to move on. Trying to move on from this because I got a few text messages from a few great pastor friends and messages from a few great pastor friends saying you need to continue talking about this from my perspective. And so I'm trying to I'm trying to move on, but let me say this that one of the issues that we have in our dating process is that, again, we date for our now, we don't date for our future, and we don't date for our destiny. And it becomes difficult for us to move forward into our destiny because we partner with people in our now. You've made lifelong, watch this, not just soul ties, because I saw people putting up soul ties. You've made lifelong emotional ties with people. You've made lifelong emotional ties with people and also emotional promises with people that now need to be broken. That I'm always going to be here. You the one I'm always going to love. You the one that's always going to be my first love. That is some bull crap. Because if they do not have your destiny in mind and they don't have your best interest in mind, how can you put somebody that doesn't have your destiny in mind above who God wants to send into your life that's going to help propel you to your destiny? You've made permanent promises with temporary people. You made permanent promises with temporary people, all because in the moment it felt good and you said what sounded good. I'm always going to be here. I'm always going to love you. No, you're not, because your destiny is going to demand that you make a decision for you to stop being in emotional bondage with them. Yes, right. Emotional contracts that you signed and you signed your life over. And now they're trying to make you pay. They're trying to make you pay a get out of contract fee emotionally. And so now you're paying fees that you shouldn't be paying because you're locked in emotionally with somebody that you've made a verbal agreement with and you've made a contract with that you're now holding on to. And you're at a place now to where you're saying, well, my word is my bond, and your word has become your bond, but also your word has kept you in jail. And I wish that you would allow your word to be your bond to free you. When we talk about bonds, is that, there's a bail bondsman. If you get put in jail, they got to pay a bond to get you out. I wish you would use your word to bond your tail out of emotional bondage that you've been in for so long. And because you've created a contract with somebody that now you're in bondage, but you can't get out of bondage because you refuse to allow your words to pay your bond. You're supposed to be free, but you're in emotional bondage because you've given people the right and the authority to have access to you that they should not have. And so the issue is that now you've given them access to areas that they should not have because you gave them clearance without commitment. Oh my God, you've gave them clearance without commitment. So you said I was always going to do, I was always going to be, but there was no commitment before God that made them buy into you and buy into your destiny and lock you into that thing. So now you're feeling bad because you need to go back and fix what you said, but you can't go back and fix what you said because you refuse to make a decision. Okay. All right. So, you've given them clearance without commitment. I've given you clearance to shape my emotions. I've given you clearance to shape my destiny. I've given you clearance to speak over my life. I've given you clearance to put me on an emotional roller coaster. I've given you clearance that if you send a text message or if you don't, I feel some type of way. And if you send me a text message, I feel some type of way because you didn't say everything that I wanted you to say. If you don't text me back, I feel some type of way. I've given you clearance to all those type of things, but we have no commitment, but I've given you clearance. And so now I've given you access to areas that you should not have had access to because I really wanted somebody and I misappropriated your position in my life. And the thing is that certain people are supposed to be in your life, but we've put them in the wrong position. And now what you've done is that you've given them access to where they should not have authority. You've given them access to where they should not have authority. Somebody was just supposed to be cool with you, but you slept with them. Y'all was just supposed to be friends, but you slept with them. And so now they don't have the authority, but you've given them access. You were supposed to help them. You really were. You really were. But we took it a step further. We took the help a step further. Because and this is how you end up. This is how you end up, because you were supposed to be in their life. You overstepped the boundaries of being in their life. And so now what you have done now is that a lot of us have married projects. It was somebody that we were supposed to help, and they were a project, but you married a project. So once you were done building them up, you were done, and that was your level of attachment. You thought you loved them, but you really didn't love them. You loved the project. You loved the assignment. You loved the assignment. Yes, you loved the assignment. The assignment was great, and the assignment was God-given, but you took it a step further, and you slept with the assignment. And so now you thought that you loved them, but you loved the assignment. So now when they've reached their place called there, or where you were supposed to hand them off to be helped in another area, now you don't. Now it's out the window because you moved too hastily. All right. All right. Okay. I'm finishing up. I'm about to go. I know, I'm pretty sure I'm about to be getting text messages and Facebook messages and DMs like I have been about why people have real deal been mad at me. All right. I don't know when part 3 gonna be. But I'm telling you, in this next season, and watch this. And I'm not telling y'all something that I have been perfect in. I'm making sure I say this because I want you all to understand. I'm not speaking from a place of perfection. All right. I'm not speaking from a place of perfection. I'm speaking from a place of growth. And the reason why I'm able to speak to certain areas, because I mismanage certain areas. See, y'all don't see like now we don't like to hear truth, but I much would rather you understand. I much would rather you understand the reason why I'm able to speak to certain things. The reason why I'm able to speak to certain things is because I've lived through them and did horribly with them, managed them horribly. And so now, since I've managed them horribly, God has been able to restore me. And so now I can help somebody else. I think you should want to partner with a leader that can be honest with you. If a leader can't be honest with you, he's lost his place of transparency. And if he's lost his place of transparency, he's also lost his place to be able to transform things in your life. No more will you mismanage assignments, and no more will you, soon as somebody comes in your life, you need to be asking, what is the purpose of this? God, what is the purpose of this? Why is this person in my life? And they could be attractive. They could be everything that you like. They could be everything that your flesh likes, but everything that your spirit hates, because they're going to challenge you in other areas that your spirit needs to grow, but they may not be what your flesh want, what your flesh likes. And before I get off here, stop rejecting the package because it didn't come in the right wrapping paper. Stop rejecting the package because it didn't come in the right wrapping paper. A lot of us are so caught up in wrapping paper and how a thing looks that you refuse to open it up and look at the content of a thing. And our issue is that we've become so superficial that that we're more interested in the wrapping paper than we are the content. The gift isn't the paper. The gift is what's on the inside. And in order for you to see what's on the inside, you got to start unwrapping the thing. And it could be the very thing that you need for the rest of your life. It could be the very thing that you need for the remainder of your life. But you're so caught up in wrapping paper. But baby, let me tell you something. Wrapping paper is not going to sustain you. Wrapping paper is not going to keep you. Wrapping paper is not going to check your life. Wrapping paper is not going to fulfill you. I mean, not going to fulfill your destiny. Wrapping paper is not going to challenge you to grow. Wrapping paper is not going to wrapping paper is not going to give you substance. Wrapping paper is not going to do any of those things. Wrapping paper is just going to look good. So it's going to look good for the sake of pictures. It's going to look good for the sake of Instagram, and it's going to get you a whole bunch of likes, but you will be destroyed when it comes to your personal life. And you will have people that look good for the sake of thumbs up and for the sake of hearts, but your heart will be destroyed and broken because it has no capability. It has no capability to manage where you're going. And now what you will become is that you'll become a prisoner to the pictures that you have put up. You'll become a prisoner to the pictures that you have put up. And now you're afraid to destroy it. You're afraid to separate. You're afraid to break up because now you got to delete all those pictures that you've put up because you told everybody else that you were so happy, and you told everybody else that you were so fulfilled, and you told everybody else that your heart was at an amazing place. And now you got to go back and you got to delete everything that you put up, and you got to go back and change everything about your Instagram and change everything about your social network because you moved before it was time and you didn't ask God, but you were caught up in wrapping paper and you want to show your gift off. A lot of us right now are caught in relationships because you're too prideful to break up. You're too prideful to break up, and you're caught in relationships that you refuse to destroy because now you are a prisoner to the perception of people. And now people have held you in crazy relationships because you didn't pray before you got into it. You didn't pray before you put up posts, and you moved too soon. And now you are a prisoner. And now God is calling you out of it, but you refuse to step out of it because you went public too soon. Because now you are a prisoner to the public, and now you don't want to move on with your life. Woo! I got midweek service tonight. I got midweek service tonight. You're so prideful, so you refuse to start over. I should write something on that. You refuse to start over. All because you wanted everybody to see. All because you wanted everybody to see what your heart didn't believe. So you want everybody to know that you're in a relationship. You want everybody to see that you're in a relationship. But your heart was in limbo already. And you knew it before you put up the pictures. The pictures ain't for your relationship. The pictures are for you. Or really not even for you. Therefore, the people to like them and to comment and say, oh, I didn't know, and that's so good, and da 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 da. Oh, and you in a relationship, that's so sweet, and y'all look so good together. Because really, what you want people to do, you want people to co-sign, you want people to co-sign your relationship because you really aren't that secure in it. So you want to get the opinions of people that don't have a relationship with God to say that this is God. How are you asking people to validate what God put together when they don't have a relationship with God? Oh, you look so happy. Oh, I wish I had a relationship like y'all's. And you want people to envy what you secretly hate and what you're secretly questioning. Yes, midweek service is live stream. AllNationsHSV.org. AllNationsHSV.org. All right. The approval of man. All right. All right. I'm done. I'm done. How can two walk? At least they agree. Yes, that is so true. But a lot of us aren't walking. And so a lot of us are stagnant, and you ain't walked nowhere. And that's the reason why That's the reason why your relationship, quote unquote, look like it's working, because y'all not walking. But the minute y'all start walking, it'll start exposing what direction you're going in. Because a lot of people, the reason why the relationship is good now is because y'all stagnant. Y'all ain't went nowhere. But the moment you begin to walk, and the Bible says, and the Bible says that the Bible says that he would direct your paths, that he would direct your path. He will direct your path. So if we start walking, God's going to direct our path. And it's a lot of us that aren't walking, and we've been standing still, and you've been entertaining a relationship that's been standing still and has been stagnant for so long. So, but the minute you start walking, and the minute you start walking into your destiny, into your purpose, and into your call, then it will expose what the other person is doing and what the other person is not doing, because we're not walking. So we can say, how could two walk together? At least they agree. Well, y'all can stand together all day long, but the moment y'all start walking, it'll start showing that there's a level of discourse in your relationship. Okay. All right. I'm done. Go back, watch part 1 if you didn't catch part 1. Catch part 2. Do whatever you need to do. I pray that this has blessed you. Again, I'm not perfect at this. I don't have all the answers. I'm just being led by God as I speak with the wisdom of God. I pray every day, God, grant me wisdom that supersedes my experience. And so this is what I'm called to do. All right. If you missed part 1, go back and watch it. It's 13 minutes. It's not long at all, but go back and check it out. Thank y'all for being on. Yeah, I'm definitely probably going to have to write a book on this, but it'll probably be after I get married. All right. So tonight's service website, allnationshsv.org, allnationshsv.org, allnationshsv.org. All right. And we start at 7 Central Standard Time. All right. All right. So, yeah. All right. So I love y'all. Y'all have an amazing night. I see y'all on live stream tonight at Bible study. It's going to be so good. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys even more. All right. Love y'all. Y'all have a good one.